Good morning everyone. Welcome to Tathastu-ICS. My name is Pooja Sharma and I am your current affairs faculty. Today is 6th of January 2025 and I am going to take your The Hindu analysis for today. So good morning everyone who are online. Good morning Payal, good morning Dishan, good morning Priyanka, good morning Subed and good morning Ruchi. This is the QR code from where you can access, it is a QR code for a group, Telegram groups, from where you can access your PDFs of these DNA sessions. Okay, so let's start our discussion. Today's actually front page was filled with very important news which are relevant for UPSC. So we are going to cover those news as well. For example, we are going to cover this news that the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister actually has announced for a $1 million prize if someone is going to decode the script of Indus Valley civilization. Actually, script of Indus Valley civilization is still not deciphered yet. The second news is related to Scorpene class deal, Scorpene deal and other deals with France. Military equipment deal which we have with the France. So it is related to that because our Prime Minister is going to go into the France for a summit. So there these deals can be finalized. So we are going to look into that also. Right. So let's see which news we are going to cover today. These are the upcoming courses which are going to be there in Tathastu-ICS. If any one of you are interested, they can go through the detail. These are the important news which we are going to cover today. The first is I have already mentioned on your first page that the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu actually announced for a $1 million, not rupees, $1 million prize for a person or a researcher or an organization who is going to decipher the script of Indus Valley civilization. We all know that there has been Indus Valley civilization is very important for present year and for your 2025 examination also, because it has been 100 years still we are knowing about this civilization, because around 1924 only it was finally published by the Archaeological Survey of India that we have found this civilization, the northwestern part of joint India at that point of time. So they actually mentioned the Harappan and Mohenjo-daro. Right now the both of these cities are in Pakistan, but at that point of time it was in India. So this year Indus Valley civilization has completed, discovery of Indus Valley civilization has completed 100 years. So it is very important, and given that only he actually announced this prize that whoever is going to decode the script is going to get this prize. So we are going to know about what kind of script it is and why it is still not yet deciphered. So we are going to understand that in detail. Okay. The second news is related to our Rafale and Scorpene deal with France. We all know that Rafale and Scorpene deal we are going to have with the France under project 75 India I. So actually this is a kind of a final plan, but the final go is going to be there. So we are going to have this Rafale and Scorpene deal. We are going to understand the deal, what is the present status of the deal, and other than that we are going to understand deeply what this Rafale deal is and what is this Scorpene class submarines. So how many submarines we have already procured from France under project 75I, or how many more we are seeking to procure from France, right? And what is India's role in manufacturing those submarines? So we are going to understand that also. Now next news is related to, this is your editorial, okay, main editorial. So this editorial is actually about your draft Digital Personal Data Protection Rules. You all know that Digital Protection Act is already there. Okay, in 2023 Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha Parliament has already passed this act. So act is already passed in 2023. Okay, Digital Personal Data Protection Act is already there, and it is very much linked to the right to privacy under right to life, right to privacy under right to life. So right to privacy as a fundamental right we actually got since 2017. Okay, we already have right to privacy as a fundamental right, but it took so many years, it took 6 years for this act to come into the scene, okay, the Personal Data Protection Act, because this Protection Act is the one which is actually going to give a go to this fundamental right of the citizen. But now this act, okay, how can we execute this act? For execution of that act, we need to have these data protection rules. Now we need to have these rules. Now these rules are, right now they are just the draft rules. These rules are not finalized yet. They are just the draft rules, and these draft rules are now on the public domain. Now the editorial is actually criticizing these rules, that what should be there and what are the things which are still not there, and why there is so much delay in providing in the execution of the right to privacy in our country. Why there is a lag of 7 years? Because since 2017 we have right to privacy as a fundamental right in our constitution, but why we haven't get the right? The execution of right is still not there. That's why article is criticizing it. Then we are going to know another article that is on your text and context page, right? Here this article is about the dam project which is being proposed by China. Actually this time the Chinese fifth 5-year plan actually gave a go to the this dam project on the Brahmaputra river. We call it Brahmaputra. On the Chinese side it is known as Sangpo river. So there is a mega project going on. So this article is not only about that project. The article is basically going to cover about the ecological impact of those such kind of project in this area, or we can say that on the area which is surrounding the Brahmaputra or the Sangpo river. So how the people, indigenous people of Tibet, the people of Arunachal Pradesh, the people of Assam and people of the Bangladesh also, how they are going to get affected if such kind of dams are going to be a part of geopolitical fight between the countries. Because right now China has proposed one big mega project on the syntaxial band of the Brahmaputra river. Similarly, India has also proposed another mega project. So all the countries which are surrounding the Brahmaputra river, if they are going to have so many mega projects, how these mega projects, because these mega projects are not only about producing electricity, okay, it is not only about that, it is about hegemony, it is about putting your infrastructure in that place so you can mark it as your territory. Because we all know that Arunachal Pradesh as a region is a disputed region between China and India. The China somewhat claims on Arunachal Pradesh. That's why India is seeking to make so many projects. So it is not only about producing electricity or other kind of resources from that particular project. It is more about the geopolitical or political fight between these two countries. But the article is saying that why because of these so-called water wars we are impacting the ecology of the river. So the article is more on the ecological side, it is less on the geopolitical side. So we are going to understand this article. Beautiful article in text and context page. All the articles are always written in such a easy language. It is very easy to understand as well. Then we are going to know about a very small news that Banihal bypass has actually opened up in J&K, Jammu and Kashmir's Ramban district. So because of this particular bypass, the distance between Jammu and Kashmir is going to reduce by 5 hours. Earlier it was 9 hours, then it is going to reduce by 5 hours, and it is going to be a part of our National Highway 44. National Highway 44 is the longest highway which actually connects the Kashmir to the Kanyakumari. So the highway, this is known as the National Highway 44. Okay, so let's start our discussion. Then so I have given you the briefing of all the news which we are going to cover today, and now we are going to do each and every news in detail. So let's start with our first article. The first article is related to the Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister K. Stalin actually announced a $1 million prize for the expert or organization who are going to decipher the Indus Valley script. Okay, the script of Indus Valley. You all know that Indus Valley civilization, this part of the history is known as the proto-history. Okay, it is known as the proto-history. Why it is known as the proto-history? Proto-history comes between prehistory and historical phase and historical. First there will be prehistory, then will be proto-history, and there will be history after that. Prehistory is actually the history where we have only the archaeological evidence. We don't have any kind of literary evidence or the written material. These people had language. Obviously the people in the Neolithic period, they had language, but they did not have any kind of script. The people of history, that is the part of the proto-history, they were those people who for whom we have archaeological evidence, along with they had a script, though we don't have any kind of literary evidence. When it comes to history, then we have a literary evidence. Okay, literary evidence, for example, our Vedas. Our Vedas are literary evidence for our early Vedic period and later Vedic period. But proto-history, Indus Valley is part of proto-history, or you can say the Harappan culture is part of proto-history. Why proto-history? Because there was a language. Okay, there was a language and there was a script also. But what was lacking? The script was there, but there were no literary evidence. Okay, literature was not there. Script was there, they knew how to write, but again we haven't yet deciphered that script. That's why we include Harappan culture into as a proto-history. And before that, prehistory, you can say that the life of early man, the Paleolithic period, Mesolithic period, and your Neolithic period along with the Chalcolithic period. So these periods are actually comes under prehistory. So Indus Valley civilization is proto-history. Proto-history means where we have a language, we have a script also, but the script has not deciphered yet. So that is the problematic thing. Now, so that's why the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister is saying at the 100th year anniversary of the discovery or the announcement of Indus Valley civilization as one of the oldest civilization in Indian subcontinent, that he is going to give the $1 million prize to those experts or organization all over the world. It is not only about the only Indian researcher can decipher this language. You all know about the Brahmi script. Brahmi script was deciphered by James Prinsep. He was also not Indian. The Brahmi script is a script which was used in the time of Mauryans. Okay, Ashokan's inscriptions were written in the Brahmi script. The similar way, the Harappan script is not deciphered yet. So many people have tried it, but we haven't found any solution of that right now. So this is the Harappan script. It is a kind of symbolic script. Okay, by this you can see that symbolic, such kind of symbols are there. So there are symbols like this. Okay, the symbols like, so we have, this is a kind of a symbolic script. Okay, so let's understand this script in detail also. So the most of the time, where do you find the Harappan script? The evidence of Harappan scripts are only on the seals. Most of the time we found them on the seals. So these are the Harappan seals. Most of the time they were made of terracotta or steatite. So these were the terracotta seals where there was an animal image. Most of the time it was animal, some of the time it was a human image also. For example, this is the famous Pashupati seal. So he is half human, half human, or we can say that he is some kind of godly or divine image. So on each and every seal we used to have such kind of written material. Okay, at the top we have these written material. So this written material was very small. Okay, we don't find the long paragraphs or the long writings when it comes to Harappan script. Whatever evidence we have, these evidence are just in the phrases, right? Just in the phrases like this. This is only just a phrase. This is only just a phrase. Again, it's a kind of symbolic language. So Harappan invented the art of writing. They knew how to write, but that has not been deciphered so far, first thing. But the contemporary civilization of Harappan culture, like the Egyptian, like the Mesopotamian culture, they had script, and we know about, we have deciphered those script also, but they wrote long sentences also. But Harappans did not write long sentence. So one of the feature of Harappan script is there is no long sentence. First, the second, we haven't deciphered Harappan script yet. Okay, so these are the only things which you need to remember about the Harappan script. Why Harappan script or Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization important? Because it's been 100 years. Okay, it is not dancing doll, it's a dancing girl. Okay, dancing girl is a 5 centimeter bronze statue which we have found, okay, from Mohenjo-daro, right? Now let's come to our second article. The second article is about the two large defense deal between India and France are going to be finalized, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to go to the France in February to attend the Artificial Intelligence Action Summit. We all know that there in September we had this UN Summit for Future. Okay, UN Summit for Future. In UN Summit for Future, it was decided that let's have a global understanding or global governance when it comes to artificial intelligence. In the light of that only, there is going to have an Artificial Intelligence Action Summit in Paris in February, and our Prime Minister is going to go there. Because our Prime Minister is going to be there in the France, then we are going to finalize our defense deal with France as well, right? So what are these two deals? The first deal is related to the fighter jet. Okay, fighter jet is for fighter jet is not for Air Force. Fighter jet for our Navy. Okay, Indian Navy's aircraft like Vikramaditya or Vikrant. Okay, for those aircraft, naval aircraft, we need fighter jets, and these fighter jets we are procuring from France. So we need 26 Rafale M. M means here it is known as M signify the maritime. Okay, maritime. So we want 26 Rafale jets from France. Other than that, we want 3 additional Scorpene class conventional submarine also. Before that, under Project 75, we already have 6 submarine, but we want 3 more. Okay, we want 3 more. So we are going to have a 9 submarines. Submarine, you know, it's a stealth technique. It is going to go under the water, so it cannot be seen by the other. There are so many sensors and sonars are there. These are diesel equipped. Okay, so this is the only information which is written in this image as well, that we are going to procure 26 Rafale fighter jet and 3 more Scorpene class conventional submarine. Okay, now so let's understand about these two defense equipment or the deal as well. First, let's understand the Scorpene class submarine. So what are these Scorpene class submarine? Actually, Scorpene class submarine as an advanced stealth submarine. Stealth, what is the meaning of stealth? Something that is not visible. Okay, easily visible, जो जिसको बोलते हैं हिंदी में हम छुपा हुआ जिसको बोलते हैं, right? So it is a stealth submarine. So it is going to be underwater. Okay, I have an image also. So these are going to be like this. It is still visible, but it can go deep under the water also. Then only this part can be okay on the above water. So these are the sensor and sonars. So let's understand other things also. So actually this deal is between two, the naval group of France and India's Majgaon Dock Shipbuilding Limited. So we have an Indian company and we have a France company. So these two companies actually collaborated on that. So actually France is just going to provide us the technology. So France is going to give us the technology, and what we are going to do, so these submarines are being built at this Majgaon Dock Shipbuilding. Okay, so it is going to build in Majgaon only. So this is the deal between these two companies, one French company, one Indian company, right? We already have 6. Okay, we already have 6 Scorpene class submarine in our country. We already have 6. What are the name of these? So INS Kalveri was the first one. Then we had INS Kanderi, INS Karanj, Vela, Vagir and Vagshir. Okay, so out of these 6, the 5 has already been inducted. The 6th one, the Vagshir one, is going to be commissioned in January this year only. So all the 6 Scorpene class submarines is going to be inducted since from 15th of January, but after that we need 3 more. So this present deal actually is calling for 3 more Scorpene class submarine as a repeated order from France. That's it. Okay. So what are the features of this Scorpene class submarine? First of all, there are so many stealth capabilities. Okay, it can hide itself under the water. Second, there is so many arms. Actually, you can actually put missile, okay, at the head of this submarine, and we can use it in the naval warfare. Then these are diesel electric propulsion systems, so diesel equipped submarine these are. Other than that, they have advanced sonar and sensor. Okay, the sensors and sonars are there so that they can detect if there is some foreign vessel in our Indian waters, so they can actually detect, okay, what these vessels are, they can take care of them. So this is a defense equipment, right? Now let's come to our Rafale deal. What are these fighter jets? So first of all, you understand these are the fighter jets. Okay, fighter jets not for our air force. These special fighter jets are the maritime fighter jet we need for our navy only. Okay, for our navy. And for navy, maybe exactly we need it for INS Vikrant. INS Vikrant is actually indigenous built aircraft carrier. Right now we have two aircraft carrier which are commissioned. The one is Vikramaditya, which we have procured from Russia. Another one is Vikrant, and Vikrant is our indigenous aircraft carrier. Aircraft carrier, it is a kind of ship which is going to carry an aircraft. So aircraft can land on this particular ship. So that's the name of the ship is INS Vikrant. And what kind of aircraft we need for INS Vikrant? We need Rafale fighter jets. So we want 26 fighter jets from France, and we are going to have such kind of deal with France right now. So I hope you understood what is this Scorpene class submarine and what is this Rafale fighter jet. UPSC is not going to ask question very deep when it comes to such kind of they are not going to ask you about the technicalities, but they can ask you about the project 75. They can ask you about the name of the country, from where we are procuring it. Okay, so these are very important. Now let's come to our next article. So next article is our additionally editorial on your editorial page. The name is No Secret Affair. What is the meaning of this? Secret affair means the government should not have any kind of secrecy when it comes to the rules and regulation related to the data protection, okay, personal data protection. So it is about the deliberations on draft digital personal data protection rule must be open. This is what the article is trying to convey, that there should not be any kind of secrecy. Whatever is there going to be there in these rules and regulation, everything should be there in the draft proposal also, because the public can actually the people can actually discuss on that. Right now it is just a draft, it has not been finalized, rules had not been finalized, act is there. Okay, in 2023 we already have this Personal Data Protection Act, but again the rules should be there to execute that act, right? So the draft digital protection rules 2025 is a long overdue since the direction on enforcing the fundamental right to informational privacy for Indians, which is affirmed by Supreme Court in Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India case. So this was the name of the case, K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India, the case in 2017, where it was finally said by the Supreme Court that right to privacy is a fundamental right under right to life only. It is not explicitly mentioned, right to privacy bird is not explicitly mentioned in the Constitution, but it is a part of right to life under Article 21 only. In 21 we have right to life. So we have so many kind of rights which are part of right to life, and right to privacy is also one of them. But privacy cannot be one-sided. Privacy for one person can become a danger for the other person. So there has to be a balance. There are so many government agencies which need people's privacy. For example, someone is mentioning Aadhaar. Yes, Aadhaar has so much personal information of a person, right? But the government can access it. But it is the duty of the government to protect their data as well, so that that kind of data is not being stolen by some other groups, right? So there has to be accountability. There need to be the rules and regulation which are going to govern all these things, because we all know that everything is going to go into the digital. Okay, right now also one of the main concern of this article was that because the right to privacy as a fundamental right we already got in 2017, but now it's been 7 years since the right to privacy has not been executed for the public, because yes, act is there and act was also finalized in 2023 only, though there were so many times it went to so many parliamentary committees, joint parliamentary committees, and the original version of the Personal Data Protection Act was something else. Then there were so many changes on that in draft, and finally we got the act, and in 2025 we are getting the rules which is finally going to execute right to privacy in our country. But why there is so much delay? Why from 2017 we have reached to 2025? So we don't want further delay. First thing is that. The second thing, there should not be any kind of secrecy. If these draft rules are in the public domain, then everything which they are trying to put in the rules, everything should be there in the public domain right away only. So what kind of agencies can have access to people's privacy, what kind of protection they are going to give, what are the kind of legal obligation if someone is going to violate person's privacy. We are living in a digital age. Everyone, even if you are downloading or installing a small app on your mobile phone, they are going to ask some personal data from you, and there are so many notice, and there is a big notification, so many conditions they write about it, but we don't read those notification or those rules and regulation. We just click on the accept. So such kind of, because it is in a hidden manner, they have written such a big rules and regulations so that people don't have much time to read them, so they can pass it on. So how the government of a country is going to manage that? So such kind of rules are finally going to decide on them. So these rules are all about protecting a person's personal data. It is not only about all the data, it is about the personal data. What is the personal data? For example, what is personal? For example, your mobile number is your personal data. Okay, that is very personal data. Your fingerprints are your personal data, which you have provided in Aadhaar, right? Now let's understand the journey. So what actually happened? So in August 2017, right to privacy was a fundamental right under Justice K. Puttaswamy versus Union of India case, right? So the moment we got right to privacy as a fundamental right, so the government actually had this Justice Sri Krishna committee to examine the protection issues and data protection rules. What should be the rules? What should be the guidance? Which should be there? So Justice Sri Krishna committee was there, and the committee gave its recommendation 2018, just after 1 year. There was not much delay, and actually they gave a draft protection bill as well, but there were so many discussions on bill for 2-3 years, and finally in December 2021, Joint Parliamentary Committee releases its report and a new version of data protection bill. After that, in 2019, it was in the Joint Parliamentary Committee got it. After 2 years, they gave the report, and after they gave the report, there was a draft data protection bill was withdrawn. Then again it released draft personal data protection bill in public domain 2022, and finally in 2023 the data protection bill was finally passed, right? So it got assent by the President of India only. So we have the Data Protection Act in our hand. Right now we are actually seeking the trying to manage our rules. Again, the article is saying that this 7-year wait, this long journey, this 7-year wait was not without any cost. There was a cost inside it. What kind of cost? As it coincided with the period that saw a rapid growth in digitalization only. These 7 years saw so many growth in digitalization. So still we don't have rules. So in these 7 years, so much of India's people's personal data has gone to the foreign countries, because most of the applications are from foreign countries, your Facebook, your Instagram, okay. So everything, your personal data is already in the public domain, not only in India, in the other countries also who are operating those companies. So that was a big issue which is being highlighted by the article. Again, the article is saying that what these rules are actually going to comprise. So these rules are there to communicate the purpose of the data collection for the user. If someone is going to collect the data for us, okay, if someone is saying that we want to, if someone is asking you in an application, we want your personal data, first of all they need to mention, they need to communicate to us that why they want to have their personal data, why they want to collect that data. Otherwise they just ask you, give your personal email ID, give your phone number. Everyone is asking for phone number and personal email ID. Then these rules are going to safeguard the children's data online as well, because children don't know which data to put, okay, in the public domain and which data not to put in the public domain. These rules are also going to establish a Data Protection Board of India. Again, the problem is that we don't know about the details of these Data Protection Board of India in the draft rules. So there is not much mentioned about this particular board in the rules. That's why the editorial was also mentioning that. Again, it is going to set the standard for the government agency to be followed to exempt from these provisions. So there will be some government agencies are going to be exempt from these rules and regulation. It means they can actually, you know, collect your personal data. They will have the kind of liberty. But again, what kind of standards the government agency need to follow so that they can access your personal data. And these rules are also going to spell out the procedure to be observed if personal data is breached by a data fiduciary. If a company is going to breach, is going to collect your data and going to use your data for some other purposes which is not desirable by you, or for which you did not give any kind of assent. So in that case, what kind of penalty is going to be there? So these rules are going to define each and everything. Again, these concern regarding the proposed Data Protection Board of India is the institutional design, okay, have not been resolved by the proposed rules. Okay, the article is saying that this institution's design is not being proposed in the rule. Other than that, the government has kept the rule making process for the data protection largely secret. Again, that's why the name of the article is No Secret anymore. Again, the government, what is the way forward? What government need to focus? Government need to focus on limiting data collection instead of having these. The first rule should be there that the data collection should be limited in general. Not every application, not every company need to take personal data of people. Other than that, there should be increased transparency, penalizing lapses in protecting user data. If there are any kind of lapse in user data, then there should be penalization, and we need to curb the surveillance for both and private entity. Okay, so that's why the timely action according to the article is needed. It has already been 7 years and we cannot wait any more further years, so that we can have the final execution of right to privacy which is being given by our constitution to us, right? So this was about this editorial. Now let's come to our next article. Again, this article is actually talking about the ecological impact which is being done by the mega projects on Brahmaputra river. Okay, so how it is going to ecologically impact the region and what should be the way forward. How this region has become a game of geopolitics between India and China. Not only India and China, all the 4 countries which are the riparian countries of Brahmaputra, that is China, India, Bhutan and Bangladesh. India is kind of a middle riparian states in this case. So look at this dam. Okay, this dam actually showing the course of Brahmaputra river. Okay, this is the map. This is Arunachal Pradesh. You can see that this is Bhutan. this is Bhutan, this is our Arunachal Pradesh, okay, this is Bangladesh, and here this is the boundary between India and China. Okay, this is the boundary between India and China, right? So this is China. So it originates in China. It goes through the Tibet Autonomous Region, which is also known as TAR. This region is known as TAR, Tibet Autonomous Region. And here it has a great bend, which is also known as syntaxial bend. So this river takes a great bend and then it enters India. In India, it flows through Arunachal Pradesh first, then to the Assam, and then from Assam it actually goes to Bangladesh, and from Bangladesh it actually reached to Bay of Bengal, right? So this is the course of Brahmaputra river. Now, why this article is in news? This article is in news because the author is saying that China is actually going to, China has so many projects, okay, hydroelectric projects on Brahmaputra river. We also have so many hydroelectric projects on Brahmaputra river. If these projects are there for the sake of humanity, okay, for producing the resources for humanity, that is a separate case. But if there are dams so that the two countries can assert or they can fulfill their geopolitical games, so that is not desirable as according to our article. So what is this project? Actually they are going to have this project at exactly this point, which is the Great Bend point. So the name of the project that is to be started by the China is Medong Dam project. And here on Siang river, in Arunachal Pradesh, Brahmaputra is known as Siang, okay, Siang, and in China, Brahmaputra is known as Sangpo, right, Sangpo. So here India is also trying to build one big mega project. So here China is trying to build a mega project, here India is trying to build a mega project. If these both mega projects are going to be there, then definitely it is going to impact the level of the water in the river, and it is going to impact the level of the water for the people of Bangladesh also, not only Bangladesh, for Bhutan also, because this is the river and these are the tributaries only. So the water scarcity can be there in Bangladesh as well. So it is not only about the water scarcity, because Brahmaputra is a huge river, but along with that, the people which are living around this river, okay, not only the people of India, the people of China who are living around this river, okay, especially in this region or this region, they actually have adapted to the change in the Brahmaputra river since a very long time. But those changes were the natural changes. But right now what we are going to do, here we are going to have these artificial changes in the course or in the level of the water in the Brahmaputra river by having these large dam projects, right? So these projects are actually going to affect the lives of the people here. So this is the problem. So this is the problem which is being highlighted by our article. So let's start the article. Again, the article is more about the ecological impact of this dam project on Brahmaputra river. So name of the project, this can be important for your prelims also, prelims as well. So this is an ambitious plan to build a mega hydro power project across Brahmaputra river at Great Bend region in the Tibet Autonomous Region. Actually China just got its approval in its 5-year plan, that is in December 25. Again, the 4 riparian countries, India, Bhutan, Bangladesh and China, okay, obviously not China, China is going to have this project. So all the 3 other countries are going to get impacted by this particular dam project. This is the story on the basis of which we are going to have this article. Again, now article is saying that first of all, is Brahmaputra river basin trapped within nation states? It means nation state. The meaning of nation state, it is, do we think that the Brahmaputra as a natural resource, a natural entity, has become a part of a political play between these nations? Okay, so this is the question. What is the answer? Yes, the answer is yes. Yes, Brahmaputra has been trapped between these nation state. How? The Brahmaputra has been the site of planned and ongoing mega project all contributing to an intense geopolitical power projection in the river system. So these big projects which are being announced by especially China and India, they are less about producing electricity or other kind of resources. They are more about having geopolitical power projection in this area to, to establish themselves in that area. This is more about that. Again, the mega projects are seen as an important sovereignty marker, as a symbol of nation state control over natural features, that this Brahmaputra river is ours. That's why they are building such a big mega projects on Brahmaputra. Also, highly dramatized terms, we have terms such as water wars. Okay, when it comes to the Indus Water Treaty also, which is between India and Pakistan, it is also, earlier it was never a part of politics or political game or whatever happened between India and Pakistan. This treaty was always, intact. Okay, nothing was changing. But recently, this treaty was also, India also asked the renegotiation of Indus Water Treaty. Here on the Brahmaputra side also, we are using a natural resources like a river for our political gain, to show our geopolitical power projection in this area. Okay. So what are the risks for the communities inhabiting the Brahmaputra river basin? ठीक है, कौन से रिस्क होंगे? Obviously, the perennial flow means the natural flow of the Brahmaputra in downstream areas in India and Bangladesh depends on the flow in the Yarlung Zangabu. Actually, it is also the name of the Brahmaputra. Name of Brahmaputra only in China. So China, Brahmaputra is also known as Zangabu also and Sangpo also. And in India, we call Brahmaputra, in Arunachal Pradesh, we call Brahmaputra as Siang. And later in Assam, we call it as Brahmaputra. And in Bangladesh also it is called as Brahmaputra. Then later it merged with the Ganga and it became Meghna or Jamuna after that. So now the blocking of the perennial flow, it means the natural flow of the river will have catastrophic consequences on the surface water, not only surface water and the groundwater system of these four countries, this especially the three lower riparian countries as well. It is also going to affect the downstream agrarian communities and sensitive ecology of overall Himalayan bioregion or the eco region. So it is going to impact the life of those community by affecting the groundwater also, by affecting the level of the water inside the river. It can affect the agrarian community, especially in Bangladesh, because Bangladesh, that area, okay, the moment the Brahmaputra river enters Bangladesh, that is a very fertile area for Bangladesh. The most of the Bangladesh economy depend on that, so it can get affected. Now what explains the hydropower dam building race in the Brahmaputra river? Again, it is repeating the same thing, that first of all there is a face off, okay, face off between India and China especially, okay, at the Great when China is having its dam project, and in India we have this dam project Upper Siang. Again, Upper Siang is the name of Brahmaputra only. Name of Brahmaputra. These are not different rivers. These are the name of the one river only. Bhutan has been planning. Bhutan is also planning so many small projects. Those projects are also going to affect the local community of the people of that region. Again, land boundary dispute between China and India is waved into intense securitization of the Brahmaputra river. Again, the biological and ecological frame of protecting the Himalaya may help desecuritize Brahmaputra river basin. So the article is saying that we should not look this area only from geopolitical point of view. We need to look this area from ecological point of view. If both China and India, it is not only about India, it's about China also. If both countries will put their differences aside and they look at this area from ecological point of view, then they are not going to put this area under the geopolitical game. So this is what the article is seeking from India and China. Again, the article at the end, by summarizing, is saying that what we should do. Again, it is actually mentioning a book of an Australian researcher. So they are saying there is a book, The River of the Asian Highland. So according to that book, that book actually signifies that how ecological and climate significance, what is the significance in Himalayan river, and it also critiques the narrow technocratic approaches like mega dams. Again, these dams actually going to disrupt the natural river cycle. They are going to harm the biodiversity of that region as well, and it is going to increase the risk of the GLOFs, means glacial lake outburst flood. This is very important term. This term is in use since the Uttarakhand floods. Okay, so we say that in Uttarakhand also there was a glacial lake outburst flood, that kind of flood, and in Sikkim also the recent glacial flood was because of this phenomena only. Okay, where the glacial lake itself outbursts, because we know the climate change is going on, it is inevitable. So that's why such kind of floods are going to be there. But if we are going to have so many projects, and we all know that Himalayas are the young fold mountains, so it is again there is a risk of earthquake on those projects. If there will be earthquake and we already have an artificial infrastructure there, or infrastructure such as dam, so if there will be even a single crack in a dam, it is going to have a catastrophic effect on the people who are living there. So we need to understand the ecological issues regarding this region as well. Again, the book also mentioning this China's Medong Dam project on the Brahmaputra river, that it exemplifies this project only. Again, there are seismic risk, it means earthquake risk also in the region. Again, finally, by concluding, the article is trying to say that even whatever China is doing, that is the China's scene, what India should do. At least India as a country should reserve or preserve its ecological part surrounding the Brahmaputra river if we want to have long-term better outcomes of this particular natural resource. Okay. So this was about this article. Again, the whole article is giving us few information about this Medong Dam project. Again, the dam project, the name of the Brahmaputra rivers from prelims point of view is important, and from mains point of view, what is the important? How geopolitical power projection is destroying the ecological balance in this particular area. Okay, so this is the whole crux of the article. Yeah? The article was very large, but the final message of the article is in a one-line message. Now let's come to our next article. This next article is a very small news, again very important from UPSC's point of view. First of all, you understand where is this Banihal bypass. So Banihal bypass, 2.35 kilometer bypass is final in Kashmir's Ramban district. So here we have this Banihal pass. So this is National Highway 44. This is National Highway 44, and National Highway 44 is actually the longest national highway in our country. First of all, where is your question, Chitra? What are the benefits from this project? Look, the benefit is there to China. First of all, this Medong project, it is not in India, it is in China. So what is the benefit of in generally a dam project? Dam is always there to produce electricity, but here right now the projects on Brahmaputra are not much about the benefits of the dam. It is more about showing a geopolitical hegemony in the region. Okay. So again, this is a National Highway 44 from Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari, right? Here the Banihal, this road, this bypass is going to be the part of National Highway 44 only. Here, if you want to go from Jammu to Kashmir, you know that Kashmir is there at the higher reaches in the Kashmir Valley. Jammu is more in the, from Punjab you can easily reach to, it's a plain area, so you can easily go to Jammu. But the road, the way between Jammu and Kashmir is going through so many hilly areas. It is not a very plain area, so it is very hilly areas. If you want to reach from Jammu to Kashmir region, it's a distance, it's a big distance, and it almost take 9 hours. But because of this bypass, it's a 4-lane bypass, we can reduce the time of the journey to 5 hours only, right? So this is the significance of this Banihal project. Again, where is this Banihal project? Here, Just after Jammu you reach Kangra. After Kangra you will here have Banihal. The moment you cross Banihal, you then will reach to the Jammu Kashmir, Kashmir region. So Jammu is in the southern part, Kashmir is in the north of Jammu. So it is not only beneficial for the tourist, or the road is not only beneficial for the tourist, it is obviously going to benefit the tourism of this area. It is also going to benefit the in general connectivity to our national security logistics also, because in that area we need national security. So it is easy for our logistic means, okay, transportation of one product from one place to another place. Again, I have already mentioned that it is going to be a part of National Highway 44, which is the longest national highway in our country. Yes. Now, let's do some question based on today's articles only. So this is the first question based on your Harappan script. Very important, Harappan script. This is a very probable question which can come in your 2025 as well. So the first statement is the Harappan invented the art of writing, but their script has not been deciphered yet. Is it correct or not? So this statement is correct actually. Next, the Harappan inscriptions are generally long and detailed, similar to those of Egyptian and Mesopotamian. Again, what about this statement? You tell me. Next, the most Harappan inscriptions are recorded on seals and consist only a few words. Most, not all, because at Dholavira we have found a signboard also where a 10-letter Harappan script is written. So not all the Harappan script we have found on the these seals. We have found one board as well where the Harappan script is written, but mostly we have found them on the seals only. So this statement is also correct, but this is not correct because they are not long and detailed form of literature we got from Indus Valley civilization. These are very small ones. Most of the time they are written on the above those seals only. So the second is not correct. So what is going to be the answer? The B is going to be the answer. Wow, every one of you have given a right answers. So thank you. Well done. Let's come to our next question. This question is related to project 75I. India. 75 ke baad I. What is the meaning of I? Is India. This is the meaning of India. So again, this is a program under Ministry of under Indian Navy to build advanced conventional submarines with air independent propulsion technology. Yes, this statement is very much correct. Second, the submarine under Project 75I will be built entirely by foreign manufacturer to enhance India's maritime defense. Is it correct or not? Second statement. No, Vikas, we have found the writing. The script is a writing only. We did not find the literature. Literature is something else. Writing is something else. What about the second statement? Second statement is not correct because it is not going to build entirely by the by France. It is being built by India also. France is going to give us the technology. It is being built at Majgaon Dock Limited. Okay. Again, the answer is going to be A. Only first statement is correct here. Right. Now, let's come to our next question. Next question is about your right to privacy. Right. Again, so the first statement is the right to privacy is explicitly mentioned as a fundamental right in Indian Constitution. Is this correct or not? You tell me. First statement, the right to privacy is explicitly mentioned in the Constitution. Is it correct? No, this is not correct. It is not explicitly mentioned. Okay, it is a part of right to life only. In our constitution, only right to life is mentioned. Okay, but the Supreme Court has given us the direction that right to privacy, like right to, right to privacy is a part of right to life only. Alright, like other than that, Supreme Court of India in the Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India case declare right to privacy as a fundamental right under Article 21. Is this correct? Yes, this one is correct. Yes, first is wrong. Good, good Mamta. The right to privacy is absolute and cannot be restricted under any circumstances. Is it correct? No, this cannot be correct for any fundamental right. Our fundamental rights are not absolute. Okay, there are so many restrictions based on that, like right to speech and right to expression. They are not absolute rights that you can say anything. It is your right, so you can say anything. You can verbally abuse people. It is not like that. So there are so many restrictions. For example, one of such restrictions is always the public morality. Okay, so the morality part is in most of the restrictions on fundamental rights. Again, what is going to be the answer? B is going to be the answer, because first and third, the both are incorrect statements. Okay, so I think all of you have given the right answer. So good, well done all of you. So this was all about our today's lecture, and after that I am expecting that you people are going to read newspaper also, because newspaper reading along with this DNA session is also very necessary. I will always tell you to read newspaper only. Okay? Yes, Abhinandan, you are right, they are qualified, they are not absolute. Okay, so thank you so much, have a nice day. Please study hard today and read newspaper as well. Thank you so much.